So what's going on, everyone? How's everyone doing? So earlier this week, I was listening to a lot of music, a lot of albums that came out, over the past 10 years, or even albums that came out last year. And by albums that came out last 10 years, I was listening to some old 50, like his Get Rich or Die Trying album, his soundtrack for Get Rich or Die Trying, because I was watching the movie and I was like, yo, let me go listen to that. I was playing some Kanye, I was playing some J. Cole, I was playing a lot of stuff, going back and forth through Spotify and iTunes, listening to songs I haven't heard in such a long time that have just been sitting there not getting played. So I wanted to check them out and kind of bring back some memories of when I first got the song or anything like that. But listening to all those albums that day or that week, really got me thinking, what are my top 5 songs from listening to all these artists that I have been listening to over the years I've been listening to rap. What are my favorite songs I have heard based off, you could say late back then or whatever. So I'm going to give you my top 5, just me personally, what I feel are my top 5 that I can play from here till 10 years from now. Maybe it will change, maybe it won't, but this is my top 5 for 2012 of my songs that I have been feeling, even if they came out in 1999 or 98 or 2003. These are my tops. So with that being said, let's hop into it. So my first one is Kanye West, All Falls Down off College Dropout. Now, I've been into Kanye since that album. I think, no, even farther from that, when Jesus Walks and Diamonds came out. I was real young around that time, but I still, I was interested in Kanye, like, the Diamond videos and all those videos, it really got me interested in me wanting to listen to Kanye. And I remember coming home from school and watching, All Falls Down and checking out that video and it being on all the time, or even turning on the radio and All Falls Down used to be on the radio. So, you can say that song's a part of my childhood or anything like that. I just really like that song from back then when I was younger till now. That's one of my top songs that I love, playing every now and then. Playing College Dropout, playing his earlier album. I love playing those throwbacks from Kanye, and it's good to see Kanye still doing his thing now in 2012. Now this one is a new personal favorite of mine. Now after hearing Section 80 by Kendrick Lamar, I had to go back and check out his past works, his past mixtapes. So I checked out Overly Dedicated and a bunch of other mixtapes that he has put out back then, but Overly Dedicated takes the cake for me. One of my favorite songs is the first song on it, which is The Heart Part 2 Goes In. And it has to be, my top song, since I have heard his mixtape. It's been one of my top songs since I heard it. I can't stop playing it every now and then. I pop on that song whenever I feel like listening to Kendrick. I don't know, something about that song just, it goes in. If you haven't heard that song, or if you haven't even heard Overly Dedicated, check out that mixtape, check out that song. That song goes in my opinion, so check it out. Overly Dedicated, Section 80 if you haven't also, which you should have. But with that being said, let's hop on to my next top. Now my next top is J. Cole, Lost Ones. Now this song I really liked, whether it was old or whatever. He put it on his album last year. I liked it. The song is real relatable. Any guy going through a problem or whatever, it can relate to it. I really liked it. It's relatable. J. Cole, he kills it, music-wise, making tracks that people can sit back and relate to, whether you're some college kid, some guy that is having a rough time, you could say, or anything like that, or looking at it from different angles or a situation you want to listen to J. Cole, throw it on. So I gotta say, it's from his Sideline Story album. I gotta give it to him. The Lost Ones has to be one of my tops. My top 3. It's not even in order, but it has to be in my tops. So I gotta give it to Lost Ones. If you haven't seen it, check it out. I know he has a music video for it. The video is interesting. Check out the song if you haven't heard it. Check out the album if you haven't heard it, the Sideline Story. So with that being said, let's hop on to the next top. Now this next artist I've been a fan of for a while now. He's a part of Slaughterhouse. If you don't know him, his name is Joe Budden. And one of my favorite songs from him are Pray For Me. Now the song is off the Padded Room. I know he has one off Mood Music 4, which is like the first track, but the Pray For Me off Padded Room is the song I love. So if you want to listen to it, go type in Joe Budden Pray For Me Padded Room, so you get that version, and not the Mood Music 4 version of it, which is okay, but I kind of like the Pray For Me that was on Padded Room. The song was real interesting with Joe Budden giving his points or debating with his version of God, on why he has done this You know, why do we have AIDS? Why do we have diseases? Why do we have guns? And questions that Joe Budden wants answered, he throws them out there. You know, why is this that way? Why is that way? You know, but this is a song that you gotta listen for your own self. It's kind of hard to explain. It's something you gotta just go type in on YouTube. You know, and check out the song. It's one of my personal favorites, how he goes back and forth, how him and his version of God goes back and forth. You know, they debate on questions, and you know, God shows his point on, you know, being that guy that he threw jokes at on the train. Or it's very interesting. So check out that song if you don't know, or if you haven't heard it. If you don't know who Joe Budden is, check out his albums. I've been a fan where people sleep on him when he's in Slaughterhouse, which I don't understand. But with that being said, that's just my opinion. So let's hop on to my next top 5. Now, this artist, you can love or hate him. You can say he starts beef with people that don't have problems with him. You know, you can say a bunch of things about this person. Now, this person I'm talking about is 50 Cent. Now, one of my all-time favorite songs by 50 is How to Vibe off Power of the Dollar. You know, he just goes in. You gotta hear, like, he just goes in on every artist you could think of at that time. You know, he just goes in, punchlines all. You know, that's probably one of my favorite. I don't even know if you want to call it a diss track, but if you want to put it in that category, sure. But that's one of my favorite songs from 50, where he just goes in. You know, punchlines, everything, just full throttle. You know, I really like that song. So if you ever heard that song, whether you're not a fan of 50 or whether you are a fan of 50, you know, check it out. 50 goes in on that song. I think Power of the Dollar came out around 1999, 98, somewhere around there, before Get Rich or Die Trying came out. I think that was going to be his album that was going to be on Columbia Records before they dropped him and Eminem went and picked him up. So I'm not sure on it. Maybe it could just be a mixtape, but either way, it's a hot mixtape album, whatever you want to classify it as. The song in that album is crazy. All those songs in there that 50 did back then are crazy. You know, so those are my top 5 songs when I was listening to a bunch of throwback albums, even albums that came out last year, you know, or mixtapes. You know, those were my top 5 songs that I can say from this day really like, and I can play these songs from here all the way to next year, hopefully, for like the next 5-10 years. Why not? Now, I'm not trying to put these in any category or any labels, so if I labeled them like saying this is top 1, 2, 3, I don't mean that in any way saying that this one's better than the other. You know, these all are good, but have their different you could say ranks, or have their own positioning or whatever. You know, check out any songs you wanna. If you wanna know any other album names or any of the artist names or whatever, they're all down there in the description. Be sure to check out my last video. If you're watching this video and you haven't already subscribed, why haven't you? Hit that button up there. Make sure you subscribe to me. Whenever I make a new video, you instantly get it. And if you want to make sure you get it, go ahead and hit me up on Twitter, Facebook, Google+. So whenever I got a video, you make sure you instantly get it. It's right there for you to click on it and watch it. So with that being said, you know, I'm out. Be sure to check out those albums, those artists if you want. You know, check out the albums from last year, the year after, the albums from like 10 years after that. So with that being said, I'm done and I'm out. Peace.
Owen and Sonny told me right to this joint. This is some Chris Paul pen pal, homie. I'm just right to the point. You nice to a point. I got so many bars.